Hello, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, whatever time it is. I hope you are doing well. I have another word that the Lord laid on my heart. This one should be fairly short and sweet. I apologize if you hear the dogs in the background. Yesterday was National Dog Day or whatever, but pretty much that's every day at my house because they rule the roost. But anyway, so I was reading in Ecclesiastes, and good Lord, that's a hard one for me to get through. I am not going to lie. As a Christian, I know I should not admit that kind of thing because I should be like, oh, every book of the Bible is fabulous. But Ecclesiastes is rough, y'all. I'm like, this dude is so cynical. He was the wisest man that ever lived, and he is up in here with all this nonsense, and some of it just sounds like absolute rubbish. Okay, I know that's not a southern word, but I like saying it. So anyway, the Lord spoke something to me, and I feel like this is for somebody, maybe a lot of people, so I just want to read it to you from the NLT version, of course, because I'm simple, so I like to keep it simple in words I can understand. I do read other versions, but this is just kind of my go-to. So I am in Ecclesiastes, again, all kinds of like doom and gloom, and it's all pointless, and I get what he's saying. It is when you focus on worldly things because you can't take any of it with you. So if your hope and your joy and your sense of happiness and fulfillment is from the world, you're going to be left empty, and you're going to be left not feeling so great because there's nothing here that can suffice. So when he says it's pointless and you're like, good Lord, dude, are you having a bad day, a bad year? Come on, Solomon, help me. But truly, the point is everything around you in this world does not matter. What matters is focusing on the kingdom, and that's where you're going to find fulfillment. But anyway, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Well, that's not where I'm going, but I almost went there because I get sidetracked real easily. But again, NLT, I am in Ecclesiastes 7. We're going to start with verse 2 because, I mean, if you're like me, you're just like, good gracious, what is this man talking about? Again, Ecclesiastes 7 verse 2 is where I'm starting. And I'm going to go to, I think 4. I think that should get it. So, but I'm really going to kind of focus in the middle. But I'm going to read all of it, okay? So, better to spend your time at funerals than at parties. After all, everyone dies. I mean, that does not even sound like fun, y'all. Sorrow, hold on. So the living should take this to heart. So better to spend your time at funerals than at parties. After all, everyone dies. So the living should take this to heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for sadness has a refining influence on us. A wise person thinks a lot about death, while a fool thinks only about having a good time. Okay, so I really want to focus on the whole picture, but mainly sorrow is better than laughter, for sadness has a refining influence on us. Now, again, that sounds like absolute nuttiness. Okay, nobody wants to be sorrowful. I want to be happy. I want to be at parties. I don't want to be at funerals. But the point is that, especially as we get older, because we know wisdom comes with age, for the most part. I mean, there's some people out there that are way older than me that I'm like, okay, the wisdom is just bypassing them all the way around. It's not taking that exit ramp. Something's not happening. But anyway, as we get older, ideally we should get wiser. If you're in the Word, you're growing spiritually, you're going to get wiser, I hope. But we do, the more we're in the Word, it has nothing to do with age. I joke about that a lot because I'm getting on up there, okay? But it really has nothing to do with age. So the more you're in the Word, the more you come to realize things about yourself and about others. In general. But in times of sorrow, you really find out about yourself and others. You see things differently. And we should pay attention in those moments because there is a purpose in that grief. There is, that was Samson. Not Samson with the hair, Samson the dog. But anyway, grief always has a purpose. And I know it's not fun. I know it's part of life. And, you may be like, Lord, why are you doing this? Why are you allowing this? But it's in those moments that if we're still, if we're quiet, and if we pay attention and we lean in rather than step back and shake our fist, and I get it, I want to do that too, there is a lesson there. There is something he's wanting to show you, something he's wanting to teach you. And we live in a fallen world. Grief and sorrow are not anything God did to us. We live in a fallen world, and the devil is the ruler of this world, so those things are going to happen. But if we lean into him in those moments and we ask him to show us what the purpose is in that grief, and know that it is just a season, then you'll get to this part where it says, sorrow is better than laughter, for sadness has a refining influence on us. Because in sorrow, you are being refined, you are being shaped, you're going to come out better than before because you're going to lean in and let the Lord guide you, hopefully. But in laughter, you're not thinking about anything. You're not trying to figure out the world's problems. You're not trying to understand because you're relishing in the moment and that blessing. There's nothing to figure out. It's easy to just go with the flow. But when you have to look inward with that grief and really do some soul searching, it refines us. It draws us closer to him, and it helps better equip us to cope and to help others. And a lot of times the purpose of our grief is so that we can help somebody else down the road that's in that same situation. And I know you're like, well, I don't want that. I don't want to have grief. I don't want to help anybody. Don't give me the grief. That's not what we're here for. We're here to help each other, to lift each other up, to carry each other through. We're here for all of us to get to that narrow way, not that broad way that everybody else is going. And if you've never experienced grief, there's no growth in that, and you can't get to that next level. You can't fully surrender and fully lean on God and ask that he show you what the lesson is and how you can take that grief and help others. So if you're going through a tough time, and I know probably Ecclesiastes is the last thing you want to read because, like I said, a lot of it's all pointless, it's all meaningless, it's all pointless, it's all meaningless. But this little nugget just kind of stuck out to me today. And I'm just going to read verse 3 because that's really the one I focused on. Sorrow is better than laughter, for sadness has a refining influence on us all. And in those moments, we really learn who we are, but more importantly, we learn who God is and what he can do through us and how he can use that sorrow and give us beauty for ashes. So if you are in a tough time right now, my heart goes out to you, my prayers go out to you, and I can't imagine what you're going through, but just lean in. Know that he is working in your life, and he is going to make something absolutely beautiful from the tragedy. I know it doesn't feel like it, but I promise that he will. So lean in, let him guide you, and trust him fully. And just know that even when things around you are not God, or are not good, he still is. Have a great day.